And welcome back. This is Rick Warner along with Tim Sheehan, our cameraman Jim Moyer, as there's 8 minutes left to the final 16. Plymouth with an 8-point lead. Plymouth looking to advance to the final 16 for the first time since '82.
There's a risky pass.
You betcha, as Wise comes away. Savoy tips.
Oh, what a tip!
Steve Savoy with the lefty tip makes it a 10-point Plymouth lead, and that equals the biggest lead of the night for Plymouth.
Steve Savoy did an acrobatic move just to get to the ball, let alone have the presence to put it in. Great move.
That's a 2-point shot. It's off. Offensive rebound. Welker back up. No good. Savoy punches it out. It'll be Huntington basketball. Oh, no, they give it to Plymouth.
I think we just got away with one.
I think so, too. Looked like Steve poked that ball out. Well, things even up, they say.
Yeah.
I don't know who they is.
We're not going to argue with that one.
No, that's a good call. So now the Pilgrims with a 10-point lead and the basketball. Just underway, fourth quarter. 7:15 left in this one. Edison fakes a three, steps up, fakes, kicks it out to Brandon. Now to Reese. Now Michael, he'll spot for the three and nail it. Michael Edison gives the Pilgrims a 40-27 lead, and all of a sudden it's 13 points.
This is where Plymouth wants to be. They have total control of this game. Huntington North has to play chase ball. They have to play come from behind ball. If Plymouth plays smart, they have Huntington right where they want them at this point.
And a big thing that hurts Huntington is, we mentioned earlier in the telecast, that they do not shoot the three-pointer. They've only hit 13 on the whole season.
Point. Well, we'll see how this Plymouth defense does. It's one of the best in the area. Now they just have to pick it up for a little over 6 minutes.
Plymouth only has 4 team fouls, so it'll be a
nice
while.
Strip by Adam Reese. Good presence of mind to pull it out.
Indeed. Now Nick fakes, works, and deals off the glass and in. And Huntington North is going to take a timeout. Plymouth has opened up a 15-point lead at 42-27, and things are looking good going to South Bend next week right now, Tim.
Listen to that crowd. It's so moving to see how Plymouth gets so excited out there. They're just great presence out there. The whole team is playing exactly that, like a team, and I think that you're seeing a great job of stepping it up in the fourth quarter. Huntington North not really prepared for this boost by Plymouth, and they've just taken full advantage of it.
Well, the momentum certainly had switched when Huntington North got back within one at 28-27. Their crowd got back in it, and Plymouth answered the charge and has went on a big run.
You noticed when that happened, a certain guy named Michael Edison came back into the ball game. And anytime you got Michael in there, you know, the game's just going to go a little bit smoother for your team. And I think what you saw at the end of the third quarter when he just did that great up and under move was when you saw the momentum really change and go into Plymouth's favor to put them up by 8 after that. And Nick Wise and Michael have done a great job of stepping it up on the offensive end in this fourth quarter.
Plymouth has led at every stop. The first quarter score, Plymouth was ahead 13-6 at halftime, 26-18, and at the end of 3, 35-27. Right now it's 42-27 as the Vikings have hit a dry spot. Stolen away now by Kramer. He's got Edison, and he's going to get fouled before he gets the pass up to him. Probably a pretty good foul by the Vikings. So Pilgrims looking to be the quicker team on the floor right now.
You know, it's really surprising, too, because every guy out there has played a considerable amount of the game. And I wasn't here for the first game, but I imagine they were out there playing pretty hard against the Manchester Squires as well.
We use the 7-man rotation.
Bench has not been a real factor here.
Got some good minutes from Savoy and Chamberlain as usual. So now Plymouth with 6:07 left has a 15-point lead and a basketball. Edison. Now Reese, the Pilgrims can have the luxury of running some clock if they want. Edison cut off. Now Eggleston. Kramer out high, and that's what the Pilgrims are doing. Now Wise.
Nice. I like that. They're always attacking the basket.
Edison steps up. Now Kramer.
I would have taken that. You can't play not to lose.
And a block is going to be called on Huntington North.
That's a real danger right now for Plymouth. If they start playing not to lose basketball and just trying to stall out the last 5.5 minutes, then they're looking for trouble. They need to constantly attack the basketball. I think that's why Mr. Edison's bringing back Steve Savoy. They always need to be looking for those points. The best way to let Huntington North back into this game is to play not to lose basketball.
Well, good thing for Plymouth right now, that was the 7th team foul against Huntington North, and from here on out, they'll be at the free throw line for 1-and-1s. This is Reese. Adam, a good free throw shooter.
Every guy out there except for Brandon Eggleston is an exceptionally well free throw shooter, and Brandon Eggleston isn't that bad, as you said, shooting, what, 69% from
70.
70?
And Reese was shooting at 85. He nails both of those. And
him
a
and
17.
Savoy are tough, and Michael and Nick are right there behind Adam and Steve.
Pilgrims are going to get the turnover out of Huntington. 5:24 left. Chamberlain.
Yeah, Huntington North just looks like they're falling apart right now. They need something to pick them up.
Nick Wise is going to sit down.
I imagine they're more stunned than anything. 14 points ago, it was 27-30.
And before that, 28-27.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So a big run by the Pilgrims. 16-point run. Has broken this one open with 5 minutes left. Edison in the paint, pulls up from about 14 and nails it. Michael Edison gives the Pilgrims a 46-27 lead. Under 5 minutes left now. The Plymouth faithful standing down the other way. Now Welker on the baseline spins, cut off. And another turnover. Reese comes away with it. Adam will go in for the layup, and he's going to be fouled hard by John Maples.
Interesting lineup out there for Plymouth right now. They got a 3-guard rotation out there, probably using Michael Edison as the small forward. They use this every once in a while. I really like it. It really gives Plymouth another element out there as far as speed goes. I like Michael Edison as the small forward now because you give Chamberlain a little leeway to spot open for the three-pointer, and then you got Michael roaming around from corner to corner looking for his stuff, and it really gives another element as far as mobility goes.
That'll help spread that defense out even further and open up that pivot for Savoy. So a very good move indeed.
And then it also gives Nick a little breather.
Nick has worked his tail off today, as have all these players out on the floor. 2 games in 1 day is no easy feat if you're 18 or not. Plymouth now with a 21-point lead, 48-27. 4:36 left. It'll be Huntington North basketball. Swain inbounds, stolen away by Savoy. Savoy had nobody down court. He did the wise thing and dumped it off to Reese. Now Chamberlain. See the Pilgrims run some more seconds off this clock, as the clock is the biggest enemy of Huntington North now.
That and that tough Pilgrim defense. They have not scored this whole entire fourth quarter.
Of course, the Pilgrims defense among the state leaders in points allowed, as they only gave up 48.1 points per game this year.
And that's going to drop considerably.
Oh, you betcha. They only gave up 47 to Manchester tonight, as Chamberlain spots for 3 and gets it. Dave Chamberlain. And Plymouth is turning this one into a rout, 51-27.
Everything is going Plymouth's way right now.
Pilgrims have run off 23 points in a row.
Huntington North is just so much out of their offense right now. Before you saw Huntington North very determined in what they were going to do, bounce it down into their low post time after time after time. You've not seen that a lot in this fourth quarter. I think if they want any kind of success in this fourth quarter, they're going to have to go back to that.
Some of the Huntington fans starting to file out of here.
Some of all the fans, Wawasee and Manchester.
Now a three-pointer is good by Joe Swain. Uncharacteristic for the Vikings. That's only their 14th one of the season. Plymouth leads by 21, and a turnover and a reach-in foul on Brandon. Brandon wish he had that back.
Well, you know, it doesn't hurt that much, but you still don't like to see that. It's just not very smart play.
Well, you want to see that clock keep moving.
Exactly.
21-point lead or not. At least that's what I want to see. I want to see zeros on that time, on that scoreboard up there, Tim.
Anytime this game is over, it's fine with me.
Let's get this 3:17 over with, and we've got a Sweet 16 team on our hands.
Imagine that. Not since the days of Jamie Johnson and
Scotty Skiles, of
there
course.
You go.
Phil Wendell. And out of bounds on the inline, or sideline rather, was Adam Reese, or the basketball.
I think the year after that they made it to the semi-state with an 83. I think that's the last time they've done it.
Well, the Pilgrims are slated to go there again, barring disaster, with 2:55 left. Steffen pulls up from about 15 and nails it. Makes it 51-32, a 19-point Plymouth lead, 2:47 left. Little pressure broken easily by Plymouth. Now Edison ahead to Savoy.
Pretty pass by Michael to Steve right there. A lot of people forget that up until this year, Michael was the leading assist playmaker for Plymouth.
The Plymouth fans are on their feet.
That wasn't very good thinking by Steve Savoy. Must have thought he was a guard or something.
Drive to the hole by Steffen. And that cuts it to 17, 51-34, 2:05 left, fourth period. Reese under a little pressure, gets it ahead to Wise across the timeline. No foul. Now Savoy, Reese wide open, no need to take that shot. Good decision by Adam. Now Nick backs it out, minute 45 left. Over to Edison. Edison on the baseline, dumps it off to Savoy. Easy layup. Michael drew the defense and then dumped it off to Steve.
He does that so well.
And a 19-point lead with a minute and a half. And the Plymouth fans on their feet starting to celebrate here at Huntington. Good shot of that, Mr. Moyer. That last foul went against Eggleston. That was his fourth, team seventh. So Huntington will be at the free throw line shooting 1-and-1s. It'll be Mike Welker, the senior, averaging 19.8 points per game. .73% free throw shooter. A lot of smiles over there across the way, Tim.
Well, it's so good to see. This team is just like a family out there. They're all friends. They all like to do stuff together. Yeah, I think kind of interesting to see when Michael will go out.
Right now, Josh Minix checks into the ball game. Dave Goebel also in. Andy Huff over at the scorer's table ready to come in. We'll see if they let him. Jason Feast into the ball game. Everybody but Michael on the bench right now as far as starters go. They'll get it into Edison. The minute 25. Goebel is swatted by Mangus, but a foul going to be called on Mangus. You could hear that slap up here. And Dave Goebel will have a chance to get his name into the record books in the scoring column.
There's nothing more fun for Dave Goebel than scoring. I think he enjoys it more than anybody out there on the Pilgrim team.
Goebel's left-handed free throw is good. Dave, a 57% free throw shooter, averages 2.3 points per game for the Pilgrims. Plymouth up by 18, 54-36. Minute 22 left between this and one whale of a celebration. And 19-point lead now, 55-36. Steffen is going to be fouled on a reach-in. Oh, they're going to call it on Goebel. They pointed at Goebel. Looked like Edison had the hand in. It's going to be an emotional moment when Michael comes out. He's looking over at Coach.
Who do we play, Rick? We play the winner of the North Side, South game?
That is correct. The winner of the Fort Wayne Regional, which will either be North or South. Of course, Fort Wayne North handed Warsaw its first loss of the year.
Was that South that beat them?
North.
North.
Fort Wayne North. Both clubs with impressive records, both over 20 wins on the season, North and South. Feast with a rebound. Now ahead, Minnick spots for three. Got it.
Can it.
Josh Minnick.
How about that?
This is going to be one happy 80-mile trip back to Plymouth. Swain for three, can't get it. Rebound, Feast has it go off his leg. Now Goebel picks it up ahead to Minnick. 53 seconds left. Edison to Goebel. Goebel tried to pass it inside. Now Huff comes away with it. Now Edison into Huff. Huff is going to get off the glass and in.
He scores.
Andy Huff's got a nice move inside for the big man. Steffen can't get it. He got his own rebound blocked from behind by Minnick, and a foul is going to be called on Minnick. I believe Edison is going to make his exit right now.
Foul number 34, Josh Minnick is first.
Dave Chamberlain set to come into the lineup. And
you want to hear an ovation? Here you go.
And there's one proud papa over there on the sidelines too, Tim, as Coach Edison just beaming as his Pilgrims are going to advance to the semi-state. Led by son, senior guard Michael Edison. .31 ticks left on the clock. Steffen will nail a free one. That makes it 60-38. And once again, defense the name of the game for the Pilgrims.
38 points, 39 points.
Now Steffen checks out as new face into the ball game for Huntington. Number 15 is Kyle Hoopengarner. They'll come away with the steal. Three-pointer is off the mark. Offensive rebound, back up and no good. Rebound Huff. He has a pass blocked, and the Vikings will get the easy one. Ryan Field scores with 12 seconds left. Now ahead Minnick. And a whistle and a foul. It's going to be called against Matt Wilson, number 23 for Huntington North. We're 6 seconds away from an explosion, Tim.
You know, I'm in shock. I just cannot believe this.
When Huntington made that run and cut it to one, I thought we were going to be in one of those type of ball games. You better have the basketball last, and the Pilgrims just didn't want any part of that here tonight.
Exactly, Rick. That's a good point. Plymouth, too disciplined, I really think, to let a squad that is so one-dimensional beat them like that. You know, I think what you did see Plymouth do was they ended up getting it together on the defensive end. Really shut them down, only allowed them 14 points in the second half. And it's just a great tribute to their defense and their discipline. I think that's what's going to get Plymouth far, and it's what has done so well for them this year, given this soon-to-be 22-2 record. Is just the discipline Plymouth owns and the I think they're going to have to take a lot of pride in the fact that they have allowed both teams only 49 or 47 and, well, anywhere from 41 to 43. Just great defensive games both times.
There was a lot of questions in people's minds heading into this season with Plymouth losing the firepower of Michael Delp and the size of Michael Kirshner. And I think all those critics have been silenced.
Well, I think Nick Wise has really stepped it up for Plymouth, and I think Steve Savoy is an excellent, as you see the free throw made, Steve Savoy is an excellent addition to this team.
Minix is going to get called for a travel as he tried to put the shot up and take a trip to the free throw line with 3 seconds left.
I mean, don't take any away from Kirshner and Delp. They were just great, but when you have the experience of Michael Edison coming back and Nick Wise doing a great job of stepping it up, I think.
And Plymouth is going to win the Huntington Regional 61-43 over Huntington North. And look at that scene on the floor.
Wow. Just wow.
An incredible emotional release here by the Plymouth fans. And you've got to remember, Tim, this is a very young basketball team.
Oh, my. Except for Michael, these guys are all going to be back. Oh. Just a great victory for Plymouth. They didn't let down. As you said before, they showed signs of losing their momentum, losing their character. They didn't do that. They stepped it up when they needed to. As I said before, the last play of the third quarter when Michael Edison did the dipsy-do and got the foul to match, I really think that was a key point in bringing Plymouth back to life. And fourth quarter was just all Plymouth, which is good to see because they don't have a lot of bench. The stamina of Plymouth is there for the semi-state. I think you've witnessed that here today. And, just what a victory. Oh, my.
Well, an incredible season continues for the Plymouth Pilgrims as they improve on the season to 22-2, while the Huntington North Vikings will close out at 12-12. And the Plymouth Pilgrims will be entering the South Bend Semi-State this coming Saturday against the winner of the Fort Wayne Regional. I'm not sure of our plans at this point. We'll have to wait and see. We will announce what we're doing in the paper. We may decide to carry that. I know there's going to be a local station that will have it live, so that's up in the air as far as Plymouth Sports Broadcasting is concerned. Right now, the thing at hand is a celebration on the floor, and
Congratulations to Coach.
It's really a sight.
1995.
well, a bunch of happy faces out there right now.
Oh, you see Matt Kramer out there. Looks like he's the happiest guy out there. And, what a game for Matt Kramer. How about him stepping it up? Oh, the first half he was a leading scorer, which is something you never expect out of him. 10 points and just a great rebounding game as he always has. The sophomore really stepped it up, and I think everyone really did a great job of playing inside themselves, and as a team, just the unity was there, and everything was just going Plymouth's way in that fourth quarter. I cannot get over, 23 unanswered points?
Yes, it was.
That was just
It's incredible.
Great. Exactly, incredible.
Yeah, it just looked like Manchester, not Manchester, rather, that we took care of them this afternoon, but rather Huntington were making a run. The crowd was starting to get back into it, and the determination of Plymouth and I think the experience, having been in tough situations before, the defense really clamped down. They started running their offense, and as you said, that 23 points they ran off in a row was the ball game. And
yeah, I really think what you said about experience, something we haven't really touched on a lot. That's a really good point. Plymouth was here last year in the regional final. They lost to Manchester, and I think they remember how bitter that was, that 3-point loss. They weren't out of the game until the final closing seconds. And I think, just the way Michael Edison and Nick Wise played in that fourth quarter, hey, they remember. And Adam Reese, they remember what it was like to lose a close game, and they stepped it up, no doubt about it.
Well, we talk about the youth, and that's the nice thing about all this youth. You throw in the experience factor. You know, Nick Wise has 2 regionals finals under his belt as a sophomore. Brandon Eggleston will be back for his senior year. I mean, we're not trying to say we're not done yet. We've got semi-state action, but
exactly.
I mean, just there's all sorts of positive things to look at, and this season continues. Once again, we'll have the South Bend semi-state against the winner of Fort Wayne, and what an incredible matchup that ought to be as the NLC continues to live. We don't know what Northwood did as they won their afternoon game today, and they were in the Elkhart final, so you never know. Maybe next week at the South Bend semi-state, we might see our old buddies Northwood.
Well, you know, I think more than anybody, probably Michael Edison and Nick Wise would like to play them. I remember Michael Edison went out for a little while with a sprained ankle. He came back in, but you know, he was never 100%. And not being in the den of Northwood, the Panther Den anymore.
It's a horrible place.
Oh, I know. I had nightmares after that night. Yeah, I think now, I think they would like to play Northwood again. They won't say that. They'll say, well, whoever we play is fine with us. But, you know, whenever you get that revenge factor in, you saw what it did against Manchester as
You betcha.
Plymouth came back and stunned the number 3 team in the state. You know, you think maybe Northwood is on the docket.
Wouldn't be all bad. That keeps that would make 2 NLC teams out of the final 16, which would be excellent. As we all realize, the NLC is one of the premier conferences in the state. And once again, the Plymouth Pilgrims in this final 16. And Tim, what a heck of a day this has been here. First, the incredible comeback against Manchester. It looked like we were going to have an early trip back to Plymouth this afternoon. Plymouth down by 12. They just refused to die. Did the little things right down the end. Nick Wise took over, hit a big 3, and then hit a driving layup, I believe it was, with about 5 seconds left. And the defense held as Manchester had a shot with 1 second left. We're not able to get it to fall. And then this, I don't know what more you could ask for, Tim. I mean, this is just...
This is Indiana Hoosier hysteria at its best. Coming from a small school, you know, this is something that you're going to remember all your life. And it's such a privilege to be a part of this and to actually know these guys. And they are so classy. They're all just model citizens at school. And to see them achieve this much is just... It's a really great sight to see.
Yeah, there are many players up and down the rosters of state basketball teams that do not get this opportunity. This is a rare opportunity and one you better take advantage of, and the Pilgrims did not let it slip away here tonight as they took control at the end of the third quarter and just roared out to the big 61-43 win. And right now I think we're going to step away and take this pause. We'll be back to wrap things up after this.
Oh.